Welcome to the Tennis Mini. We're at the business end of the US Open. Coming up, King of the Court. Carlos beats a legend, Sabalenka's Aryna. The women's semis go the distance. And first a hat thief, now a bag snatcher. Stocks up, stocks down, coming up. With me, Brett Thomas, and...
New York, please welcome the players for our next match. From Italy, Lorenzo Musetti.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Tennis Mini, a.k.a. Anthony Morabito. I love the leather jacket, looking great. And how good have these intros been in New York?
Yeah, they've been great, actually. I suppose we haven't talked about these earlier. Yeah, just like a hype, like a boxing match, a wrestling match. But yeah, the only problem is once they come out, they've got 8 minutes of sort of warm-up and then straight into it.
Yeah, I mean, look, hats off to, or headbands off to Lorenzo Musetti for leaning into it. The leather jacket, what a vibe that is. It's got a bit of Saturday Night Fever about it, John Travolta.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
you do as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Brett.
Yeah, a bit like Mike Tyson or, maybe Rocky Balboa. Some fun walkouts that you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, just boxing and wrestling are known for their walkouts, and the UFC as well.
Yep.
Yeah, good to see tennis taking a leaf from some other sports.
And building up the personalities. All right, let's get stuck into it. Semi-finals, as we mentioned, down to the business end. What is one of the 4 semi-finals that you want to pick out and talk about?
Yeah, probably the pick of the 4 for me was the Amanda Anisimova, Naomi Osaka match. So 2 hours and 56 minutes. Yeah, 1 a.m. in the morning, we finally got our winner, and it was Anisimova. Yeah, it was just a great match. Both girls played so well. It was really sad that it had to be a loser. Back-to-back finals for Anisimova, and if someone told you that at the start of the year, you probably wouldn't have believed them.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have believed 7 weeks ago when she lost 6-love, dished up a double bagel, that she'd be back so soon. That says a lot about her mental strength.
Exactly. I mean, if there's a way she can have trained her, mental fortitude, it looks like she might have done something, because there were some points in that match where the pressure was really up to 11, and yeah, she just managed to break through.
Yeah, she lost the first set in a tie break, and it seemed like the match was going to be decided off her racket. She's such a pure ball striker, so much power, but unforced errors flying off her racket. And at one point, her coach looked at her and said, "Stop complaining." And you would have thought going back to Wimbledon, she might have been rattled, but she wasn't. And this was no easy opponent in Osaka either.
No, Osaka's played great this tournament, and he has had some pretty good form actually leading up to the US Open as well. So yeah, great to see her make it this far. But yeah, Anisimova, 6-5 in the second set. Naomi's serving for the match, and she finds a way to break back and force it to the tie break.
Yeah, incredible effort. And look, hats off as well to Naomi Osaka. I think a big storyline in New York has been her resurgence and her return to Grand Slam contention.
Definitely. Looking good for, hopefully AO next year. She might be able to, win where she's won again previously. But yeah, she's really had to work hard to sort of get back up in the rankings. She's sort of been out of that sort of top 10 level, top 10, top 20, and then finally actually making to the US Open seeded. I really helped that sort of set up her tournament, and then she was able to sort of get through further with having those sort of easier matches at the start and then getting on right into the tournament.
Yeah, she had an amazing stat, though, in terms of making the last 8 of a slam that's now over. She hadn't lost in the quarterfinals, but yeah, unfortunately, she ran into a pretty talented young player who we're going to be seeing a lot of at the pointy end of tournaments.
Yeah, definitely. Great effort by Anisimova. Even just making Wimbledon final was a bit of a shock to everyone as well. But she's be a pretty good chance, I think, against Sabalenka, which we'll cover towards the end of the show. But I think it'll be a pretty even match.
Yeah,
one way or the other.
Absolutely. And look, to be honest, both women's semis could have been match of the round, the way that the Sabalenka Pegula match played out. But let's go for the one that just wrapped up before we started recording. That's Jannik Sinner, Felix Auger-Aliassime. 4 sets, just over 3 hours. In the end, the Italian did what he has done for the past few years, and that's win a big match.
Yeah, it was a great effort by Sinner. Remember just watching this game, 6-1 the first set to Sinner, you thought, we all know how this game's going to play out. But to Felix's credit, taking the second set was a pretty decent effort. And then Sinner calling for the trainer at the end of the second set, and I was thinking, oh, this might actually open up here for Felix. But to Sinner's credit, he fought back whatever injury he had, possibly an abdominal injury. I think we'll find out a bit more as the coming days. In the coming days. But yeah, just great effort by Sinner just to really just dig deep and fight and get the result.
Yeah, he said there was nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. And he came out after that medical timeout and served really well. So perhaps that's a good sign. But, after he cools down, because he still had a lot of adrenaline going from the match, that will be when potentially any issues arise for Jannik Sinner. But let's hope not, because we'll preview the final later on. But we want both at their full powers, because it's become Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, this rivalry between King Carlos and Jannik Sinner as well.
Yeah, the third Grand Slam final in a row between these two. And, it's amazing. And that's probably what the fans wanted to see. But, yeah, it sort of really says a bit for the rest of men's tennis, where it's like these two at the moment, and it doesn't really look like anyone's going to challenge them.
Yeah, look, and they're creating their own history now. He's the youngest man in the Open era to make every Slam final in a calendar year, joining Rod Laver, Federer and Djokovic. So some handy company there. Fifth straight Grand Slam final, only Novak, Nadal and Federer have done that. So, and he is just so clinical the way he plays. He almost seems a little un-Italian, maybe more German in that respect, compared to Mazzetti, who he beat in the quarterfinals. But he is just a brick wall. That gives very little away, does Jannik Sinner.
Yeah, he's locked in, and he's all this year really. He's the guy to beat. We know he had a bit of a break after the Australian Open, so maybe that'll hold him in good stead for the final and the rest of the calendar year.
Yeah, we'll preview the final a little bit later on. But let's get into our favourite segment, Stocks Up, Stocks Down, who's rising, who's falling. You're a former accountant, Wall Street, of course. You're a positive guy as well. So let's start with Stocks Up there, Ant. And look, of course, we could have talked about every semi-final. Let's talk about the ones that we left out. And Aryna Sabalenka into another US Open decider.
Yeah, she hasn't won a Grand Slam this year, but she still had an amazing season, and she's so far ahead in the ranking points. I guess she kind of needs to win a Grand Slam this year just to sort of give that stamp of what a great season she's actually had. For her not to win a Grand Slam this season, it would almost be quite unfair, I would feel. She's played well for so many years now, and she's like really cemented herself as like the world number one women's player. But in tennis, anything could happen on the day. And we know with Anisimova that she'll have the home crown behind her. Sabalenka won last year, so she's got that going for her. And beat an American last year as well. I just really think to really show that she's the world number one player, it would be good for her to have that Grand Slam.
Yeah, well, she was on the ropes against Jessica Pegula, who she beat in last year's US Open, lost the first set, then took a medical timeout, and that sort of changed the momentum of the match, changed her outfit and changed her game, started mixing it up a little bit, threw Jessica Pegula off, and she got through in 3 sets. Stocks up for me, and is Anisimova's backhand, the fastest on tour, would you believe, faster than any man or woman at 77 miles per hour. That's about 123 Ks. Which is faster than Jannik Sinner. That is absolutely incredible, and it means that matches are often decided off her racket.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that stat when you told me that coming in this morning. That's amazing. It must be she wouldn't be the strongest player on the tour, but it must be timing for her to hit the ball so well. And just once that ball sort of gets up in that zone, she was really putting balls away, especially in that third set against Osaka. Just any ball where she had a bit of time to set herself up, just straight through and just hitting the lines. And she was making some great shots in that semi-final.
Of course, not just singles happening in New York, but doubles as well. Stocks up for me. Gabriela Dabrowski and Erin Routliffe, the Canadian and the New Zealander, won their second US Open. 2023, they won their first. And after that, both of them had some issues. Routliffe broke a rib, so did Dabrowski, and then she revealed she was diagnosed with breast cancer, delayed treatment so she could compete at Wimbledon this year. They made the final. She's conquered that, and now she's conquered the courts of Flushing Meadows as well. So that's a great story for those two. You could see the emotion when they won that final overnight as well.
Yeah, that's a great effort.
Yeah.
come back from. When we talk about adversity, you know, maybe with mental game, but cancer's like another level again. So yeah, for her to get back to win a Grand Slam, that is a remarkable effort. Yeah, good on her. And beating the world number 1 women's doubles tennis player Taylor Townsend, who we've spoken a lot about on the pod. Yeah, she's said in her post-match interview that she's had a great couple of weeks, which she has, and probably the most. Yeah, she's definitely been talked about in her career. And yeah, let's hope she can continue it into 2026.
And Carlos Alcaraz, we've touched on him a couple of times, 16 years younger than Novak Djokovic. He won in straight sets today, reaches his 8th final in a row, and winners were just flying off his racket. And yeah, you could see the generation gap, the generation coming through. And, you know, Novak Djokovic, of course, still no slouch. We'll get to him next. But yeah, this was a brilliant performance from Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos is great. He's young. He's fun. He's really good for the tour. Yeah, I guess I've said it before, but I think the fans wanted to see that Alcaraz Sinner final, and they're going to get it for the 3rd time in a row. Yeah, he's great for the game. I saw in his post-match celebration, he did a golf swing to his mate Sergio Garcia.
Yep.
Who, that's a name I have not heard of, not thought about in a while. But yeah, one of my favorite golfers actually. From back when I was younger.
Yep. Spaniard as well.
Yeah, no, just great. Just great to see, him doing so well, and I think he's really great for the sport.
Yep, Rory McIlroy was there, so he's got all of golfing royalty coming out to his matches. Let's get to stocks down and riding off what some people believe is the GOAT in Novak Djokovic. I won't. This is part of an article about his loss to Carlos Alcaraz. The first time since 2017 that he's failed to reach a major final, and the latest sign that his best days are behind him. You're kidding me. Any other player outside of Sinner and Alcaraz would love to have made the semi-final in every slam, which Novak did this year. Are they writing him off too soon, Ant?
I agree. It's probably Sinner, Alcaraz, then Djokovic, and then the rest of the draw. Djokovic, I feel like, knows his limitations now because he is getting older. And yeah, with that, having that break from Wimbledon straight into the US Open, I think he just really was psyching himself up just to be able to get through to these later stages of the US Open, which he did do. But these two, Sinner and Alcaraz, I feel like they're going to be the next big players. Well, don't feel like they are the next big players, and it's up to the rest of the draw to sort of catch up.
All right, well, let's hear from Novak now. His thoughts on whether he can actually beat Carlos Alcaraz or Jannik Sinner at the pointy end of Grand Slams.
You know, I lost 3 out of 4 slams in semis against these guys, so they're just too good, you know, playing on a really high level. Fortunately, I ran out of gas after the second set. I think I had enough energy to battle him and to keep up with his rhythm for 2 sets. After that, I gassed out, and you know, he kept going. So that's kind of what I felt this year, also with Jannik. Yeah, best of 5 makes it very, very difficult for me to play them, particularly if it's like the end stages of the Grand Slam.
So that was Novak there, and seems kind of realistic about if everyone's fully fit, it's going to be difficult to knock off Carlos and Jannik best of 5, but anything could happen, and I feel like he has a bit more to say at the AO next year where he has dominated the courts at Melbourne Park.
I do feel if he's going to hit that 25th Grand Slam, it would be at the Australian Open. He was very close this year, but yeah, he just really needs a lot to go right for him. Maybe, just a draw opening up for him to get straight to a final, then, you know, anything can happen.
Well, let's talk about the men's draw and everyone outside of the 3 that we've talked about, Sinner, Alcaraz and Djokovic.
That's right. Yeah, that's my stocks down. I guess Felix has made the semi-final, but he didn't have to go through Sinner or Alcaraz. So it seems to be that in the men's draw, there'll be Djokovic, Sinner, Alcaraz, and then there's one other spot that they're kind of all fighting for to make a semi-final. I'm sure it will change eventually, but it's just sort of the same 3 getting to this sort of stage in the tournament, and then there's just sort of who was the best of the rest, just sort of making up the numbers, you could say, to get that final semi-final spot. What do you think? Do you think there are any players that can actually come through and break through to this sort of
Well, I guess a bit like Novak, because at one point we thought it was Federer and Nadal and no one else, and then Novak didn't come out of nowhere because he'd shown a lot of promising signs, won a early Australian Open, then took a few years before he was consistently winning slams. So hopefully from an Australian perspective, that's Alex de Minaur, but perhaps doesn't quite have the power to match the big two in tennis. Bag thieves. I want to talk about that in Stocks Down. We had the hat thief, Kamil Majacek, handing his hat to a young fan taken by a Polish millionaire. Now there's a bag thief, as Jannik Sinner had beaten Sasha Bublik in the fourth round. He's signing autographs, had his bag over his shoulder. And we might bring up the image here. The brazenness of this fan trying to get into Jannik Sinner's bag and maybe take a souvenir like a racket or a wallet or something. But I don't know how he thought he was going to get away from that with that, Ant.
Yeah. When fans are going to learn that, there are cameras at the US Open. It's not a...
And security guards.
And security guards, yeah.
Well, there's one right there.
It's not a challenger tournament. It's pretty well covered. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to zip up his bag and get something. I'm not sure. Maybe something was going to fall out. But it's not a good look. And it probably won't surprise me that this probably won't be the last time we'll see something like this.
Yeah. Well, and amazingly, the USTA decided not to punish the fan. They didn't kick him out, which is incredible considering he was caught red-handed right there. You'd think that fans would have learnt after the Polish CEO hat thief.
Maybe he said that he was zipping up his bag.
Perhaps. Let's zip up that segment. We'll change ends here, Ant, and come back with a preview of the finals.
Welcome back to the Tennis Mini. We've gone through the talking points of the semis, and now we get to the finals. Brett, what match are you most looking forward to?
Well, I think we should start with the women's final. This promises to be a beauty because if the semis are anything to go by, this one is definitely going to go the distance. Aryna Sabalenka against Amanda Anisimova. So someone who, of course, has tasted Grand Slam success against a player who we spoke about. And this will really see now the demons of Wimbledon, whether they resurface. She got through some tough quarters and semis, Amanda Anisimova. But what do you think is going to happen with her on the big stage in New York in front of her home fans?
Yeah, I think she'll definitely want to get that first game on the board as quickly as she can. Say Sabalenka serves first and holds her serve, and then say Sabalenka breaks the next game. I think pressure will just build right up. So hopefully she can serve first. If I was her, I'd probably serve first and just win that first game. And that'll sort of take that pressure off that 6-love, which seems to be following her around. But yeah, I think if she can overcome her nerves, she's shown she's got the shots to match it with anyone in the women's game. And yeah, Sabalenka, she's world number one. She's a good player, but I don't think Anisimova can match her. Just with the experience she's got in Grand Slam finals, she'd be really hungry to win one for this year as well. I'm picking Sabalenka. What's your pick, Brett?
All right, well, I'll go for Amanda Anisimova. Looking at their head-to-head record, and I know this is a Grand Slam final. In Grand Slam, so she leads 6-3, 3-2 in Grand Slams, 2-1 on hard court. She's from the same hometown as Bruce Springsteen, the
Really?
boss, who you're dressed a little bit like, Freehold, New Jersey.
Yep.
I'm going to say she's going to boss her home court at Flushing Meadows, Arthur Ashe Stadium, and get the win in 3 sets. Will it go the distance, or do you think Aryna in straight sets?
No, I think it can go the distance. I did see a stat the other day, though, that Sabalenka has never, or in I think like 100 or something games, she's never lost a Grand Slam match in straight sets.
Wow, that's incredible
Yeah.
stat. Yeah, okay. She's got some real resolve, and we saw that she'll pull out all the tricks like she did with Pegula and take a timeout if she needs to. So you're going Sabalenka.
Yes.
I'm going Anisimova.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the final that a lot probably expected. What I think the fans wanted: Jannik Sinner, Carlos Alcaraz. Who do you think the crowd will be supporting?
Oh, that is a good question. I reckon it will be pretty much 50-50.
There are a lot of Italian fans in New York,
They are,
of course.
yeah.
But Carlos has great charisma, I think,
Yeah.
and creativity with his shot play.
I reckon it would be 50-50. Sorry to stay on the fence with that one. But
So I think it'll be Alcaraz, I think,
reckon Alcaraz?
clearly, because Sinner, contrasting personalities, contrasting games. We did see Sinner with a between-the-legs shot against Felix Auger-Aliassime, but Alcaraz, I think, might be the people's favourite in this game.
yeah.
He does have the Kuroda boys, though, as well, Jannik. So he brings the cheer squad with him.
They come down. Yeah, I would probably lean towards, the crowd, probably would be maybe on Alcaraz's side. But, just with that Felix match, that taking that medical timeout's kind of got me a bit spooked with Sinner.
Yep.
We haven't got no reports. We've pretty much gone straight to where after the match finished. Don't know what he said in a press conference or anything yet about his potential injury.
He just said on court that there was nothing to worry about, but he was pretty vague. So who knows?
Yeah.
As we said, when he cools down, it might be different. But yeah, we want to see this one go to 5 sets, so
Definitely
don't we?
want to see it go to 5 sets.
But who are you tipping then? Sounds like you're going with the Spaniard.
If it is definitely nothing to worry about with Sinner's injury, I'd go Sinner. But if he has to get treatment in the next couple of days, I reckon they're so close, they're so even that I would tip the scales in Alcaraz's favour.
This is the same men's pairing facing off in 3 slam finals in a calendar year. That hasn't happened since 1964. Roy Emerson, Fred Stolle, a couple of Australians. You'd think with Novak, Federer, and Nadal that we would have had 3 in a calendar year, but we haven't. So this is going to be huge. It's 5-9 in favour of Alcaraz. They split Wimbledon and the French. I am going to go with Alcaraz, though, I think, as well. So go with the same pick. I'm going to say in 4 sets.
Okay.
Yeah, but it should be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, definitely an absolute cracker. I wish I had a ticket to this match.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Imagine what they're worth. Alcaraz hasn't dropped a set. We saw Jannik drop a set against Felix Auger-Aliassime, so can't wait for that. Well, thank you, Ant, a.k.a. Lorenzo Mazzetti, for dressing up today, the great intro and helping us preview the finals.
Thank you, Brett. And just a quick shout out to all the dads out there. It's Father's Day in Australia tomorrow. Happy Father's Day.
Well said. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Thanks again, Ant, for dissecting the semi-finals. We'll be back Sunday in the US, Monday in Australia to take a look at the finals at Flushing Meadows on the Tennis Mini.
Hey everyone, Harps and Andy here. Just want to remind you that you can watch every episode of The Tennis on our YouTube channel, Australian Open TV.
And we have an email as well, podcast@tennis.com.au. If you thought the show was amazing or you thought it was terrible, we are keen to hear from you. We'll read it. So feedback, comments, whatever it is, get in touch with us at our email and we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you later.